Is the way you feel each day dictated by what happens to be going on in your life?
Does it have to be that way? Or can we find peace and calm even when the storms are blowing around us?
That's what we wanted to know, so we asked the universe.
Welcome to this episode of What's the Universe Say About That?
I'm Mary Obana, and along with my husband Michael, we ask the universe for answers. You see, I'm blessed with this beautiful gift where I get quiet and I can connect with the loving guidance of the universe.
So today, you'll see and hear Mary connect directly to that divine guidance and hear the words of wisdom flow directly through her in response to questions about life and the challenges we all face at certain times.
So, welcome to our home.
And welcome to this now normal, but always amazing part of our daily lives. So sit back, get ready, and let's hear what the universe has to say about that.
Let's do it. Hi, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Today I'm going to ask questions about a lot of different episodes that we've had in the past, and they all revolve around finding the learning in any circumstance or trusting different circumstances.
hmm
And it totally makes sense to me when I hear it. But then, given enough time, I always have questions. So, one of the things that I wanted to kind of dig deeper in today was how do we live a life not defined by our circumstances? Because I know for me, good times, bad times, I change literally. It's not just I'm happy in good times and I'm not in bad times. It really brings up different things. When in challenging times, it brings a whole different like me to the surface. And in good times, it brings a whole different me to the surface.
hmm
And I know on a personal level, Mary broke her leg a couple of years ago and it was a really bad break. And it didn't, she didn't change at all. And I think, even some of your friends said, I can't believe you're handling it the way you're handling it. And Mary's not defined by her circumstances. I think I am, or I'm working to not be so defined by my circumstances. So, how do we live? It's a much better way to live
Yeah.
when circumstances,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
by the way, that doesn't, I mean, there are times where my circumstances throw
yeah,
me for a loop. So
yeah. But you remain you. It's really kind of amazing. So anyway, I think that's what I'd like to know.
Okay.
You know, I'd like to be able to understand more how to get out of the always circumstances will always change.
Yeah.
And how do we get out of that kind of ping pong match of life back
Yeah.
and forth and up and down? And how do we find an ability to live in a different way, different perspective, not just dictated by our circumstances?
Mm.
Long question.
Usually they are.
Well, I've been thinking about this stuff.
Okay.
All right.
That's a great question and relevant to everyone, each
Yes.
of us. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Here
Good.
we go.
Yep.
Yes. The human experience is filled with ups and downs, twists and turns. It is true. There is so much to the human experience. The question you have asked is a beautiful one because within it, there is a desire to have a sense of peace amidst what are always going to be changing circumstances. The human experience will always bring unexpected things because you see, you are dancing with many other souls here. You are engaging, interacting with news from near and far, with people with different opinions, and people making choices that affect your state of being. This is the life experience, after all. It is what gives it richness. It's what reveals the learning. It's what creates the growth. Change is inevitable. We have shared many times about choice. And it is true that each of you always holds the key to the choices you make. Choices aren't only actions, choices are the way you allow the circumstances to affect your well being. If it is true that you wish to live in a place of peace, if it is true that you desire a steadiness throughout what can be a chaotic life experience, if this is genuinely what you wish for, you have the ability to live in a place of peace in spite of all that may be happening around you. We say you truly desire it because there are some who enjoy the roller coaster. There are some who truly enjoy riding the ups and downs. Some may not want the change. But if someone desires to live truly in a place of steadiness, of peace, it is an existence, a feeling that can be theirs. And this does not mean that there are not challenges. This does not mean that you ignore all that is happening. It does not. It means you accept that which is. You accept that which has come. For what has come, what is in front of you, is not something you can change. It is something that is, you see. When you start from this place of acceptance, not wishing for it not to have been, not wondering all that you could have done to have changed the outcome of the situation, not ruminating about all that could have been, but instead accept what is in front of you. Acceptance does not mean being happy with it. Acceptance does not mean condoning it. Acceptance does not mean pretending it doesn't hurt. This is not what we mean when we say acceptance. What we mean is that accepting what is facing the truth of what is in front of you for what it is. And then it is choosing how you, what you, the energy you bring to the situation that is. You mentioned Mary's accident when she broke her leg in multiple places. This was not something she welcomed. This was not something that she was delighted to have. But she accepted what was for what it was. And she chose to see that other than this break, she was fine. And then she leaned on the support that she knew she had all around her and the love that surrounded her. And she sunk into that love and support. to find peace amidst an unfortunate circumstance. She will be the first to tell you that there are times where this is more difficult than others. But she made a choice in that moment. And for her, it was one that came quickly. This is the way it is, you see, with anything. The more you apply this perspective, the more you get used to responding to things in a certain way, it is like a muscle. When you use the muscle again and again and again, it gets accustomed to the way it is asked to perform. It is a process, you see. People must be patient with themselves. People must be compassionate to themselves. No one is perfect. Everyone faces unwanted circumstances. It is the reality of the life experience. And some circumstances are unfathomable to experience. Some are less challenging. But and every one, each and every one presents itself to you, and you have a choice. We suggest to have that steadiness that you yearn for, Michael, that you start with acceptance, seeing it for what it is, and then deciding the energy you bring to it. And it is our hope that you bring an energy of knowing you are not alone, knowing you are surrounded by love, knowing that whatever it is, you are loved and supported. Does this help?
Immensely. Just one finer point on you talk about seeing circumstances for what they are. That can be difficult when you're in the midst of those circumstances. Is there a separation or a separateness or a stepping back or somehow getting into a different perspective to be able to see it for what it is?
It is a beautiful question. Of course, any moment is filled with emotion, with shock, with whatever the circumstance brings you. Always start with the breath. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Returning to the breath helps regulate your system. It is difficult to face anything that is happening when the emotions, when the chaos of the circumstance is overwhelming. Always return to your breath. It is only from this place of settling into regulation that you can even begin to see what is in front of you.
That's great. Thank you.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Mhm,
That
mhm.
was that was great. That was beautiful. Straight down the middle. It's funny. The I just assumed that Everyone wants peace, get off the roller coaster, but it's funny that they brought up that's not necessarily true. I hate roller coasters. I've been I've been on one my whole life, and so I think you always want what you don't have.
Mm,
So peace is such a um, desirable objective,
mhm,
to attain peace, not have a boring life, but peace amidst your life seems
mhm,
like such a incredible state to be in. And I've
mhm,
known some people that live that way, and
mhm,
it's incredibly attractive. Um, but some people like roller coasters, or
mhm,
maybe at their time at that time in their life they like roller coasters. So that was a help. That was helpful for me to kind of you got to first really know what you want
mhm.
before you ask for it or before you go in that direction.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful. And I'm glad I asked that question at the end because it's hard to go, when you're in the
Oh my
midst of it and you're
gosh.
being buffeted by, waves and winds and all that stuff to
Yeah.
say, oh, what do I want to learn from all this? Or
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
that returning to the breath, that's just like settle yourself and
Yeah.
then step back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's like that one step
yeah,
that has to precede all others because you can't go right into it. I mean,
yeah,
sometimes depending upon what's going on, it could be just
yeah,
crazy, but
yeah. So
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
Those
no,
are,
it was beautiful.
yeah. It really was. I say that all the time, but that was a really beautiful, kind of comforting, reassuring message,
Yeah.
and also just take it easy on yourself,
Yeah, the self-compassion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like you'll get the hang of this and,
Yeah.
keep practicing and
Yeah.
it's just it's
Reassuring.
yeah. It's interesting. I think we're all brought up to think life should be fill in the blank. Easy, happy,
Yeah.
whatever it
Obstacle
is,
free, whatever.
obstacle free. And a lot of the messages, especially recently, and maybe it's the questions we're asking, but a lot of the messages have been like, enjoy the buffet. There's different flavors and there's different, that's life. That's what makes life so rich and interesting.
Yeah.
Um, and don't fight it and don't shut yourself off from every, the full cornucopia of experiences. That's what makes life, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So anyway, thank you. I don't have any deep philosophical endings. I think that we'll leave that to the universe. You're not taking my
Profundity?
advice.
What is the word? Profundity? Is that a word?
It might
Profound.
be.
I don't know.
It is a word, but I have no
Okay.
idea what it means, and neither do you.
We'll leave it at
We'll
that.
leave it at that.
All
So
right. We hope
anyway,
this has been helpful.
yeah, we love it. We love doing it for you. So
Yeah.
see you again soon.
Take it easy.
Bye bye.